It's several South African provinces, leading to higher food costs, threatening food security and increasing the possibility of taps running dry. It's generally estimated that even though more hectares have been planted with grain this year, South Africa's total crop yield will shrink by a third. The drought began in February and it severely affected the harvest, especially summer crops like maize, sunflowers, sorghum and beans. Grain SA expects South Africa will need to import about 750,000 tonnes of maize, which is a staple for many South Africans. The weakness of the rand raising the cost of those imports. For farmers, the impact is huge debt and a possible loss of livelihood. Well, the Land Bank exists to support the agricultural sector. It makes loans to farmers and agriculture-related businesses with a focus on the needs of previously disadvantaged people in the sector. Let's get a view from the CEO now, Tshokolo Nchocho. He joins us from our Pretoria studio. TP, thank you for joining us. How much pain are farmers in right now? We're hearing of farmers selling land. What's your sense?
Thank you very much, Francis. Yes, all around the country there is a lot of pain indeed. On Monday, just this past Monday, I visited a couple of farms in the Free State, in the area around Kroonstad. And indeed, I saw for myself how those in the livestock farming environment, for instance, their cows and other animals losing weight and being inflicted by the pain of lack of water and low levels of nutrition as a result of grass lands that have been lost as a consequence of drought. So yes, the situation is serious.
How many farmers are in debt? Because that's what you deal with. You finance some of these farmers. Are many of them going to survive this, or could this wipe out a whole lot of farmers?
I will talk on behalf of the Land Bank because, as you know, we are not the only financier of the agricultural sector in the country. The various commercial banks do. The Land Bank ourselves, where we are, is that we have round numbers, approximately 40 billion by way of debt lent out to various farmers in various geographies in the country and in various commodities of the agricultural sector. And as part of this, addressing this problem of drought that we are facing, we are conducting an ongoing assessment of the situation. And our latest assessment indicates that of the 40 billion rand portfolio of the Land Bank, probably somewhere in the region of 5% of our exposure is at risk as a consequence of this drought, approximately 1.92 billion rand or so. And this is farmers mainly in the hard-hit provinces.
Why is it so low? I would think that you would be lending out more to farmers, especially previously disadvantaged farmers.
Talking in the context of this particular problem of drought that we have, the factors that we should take into account is that there are a lot of farmers who have their own risk mitigation measures. Some of the farmers that we have financed are located in crop areas that are under irrigation. Some of the farmers have their own mitigation arrangements in respect of insurance. Remember, we just come out of the season where harvesting has been done. And so some of the farmers do have their crops already stored in storage areas such as silos and so on and so on. So actually, for the past season of growing, which has ended now, the effects could be regarded as sort of mild. The biggest impact is going to be felt now in the growing or the planting season that we are into at this particular point in time.
Okay, so that risk factor could go up in future. It sounds like you want to be compassionate with the farmers. Will you restructure loans? Is anything like that happening already?
Yes, yes. Yeah, there are a couple of actions that we are taking at the Land Bank. One, the Land Bank has an insurance subsidiary, which is called LBIC, Land Bank Insurance Company. And we do provide crop insurance cover. So for some of our clients who have taken policies with us as part of their lending facility, they have the potential benefit of claiming against insurance cover. Secondly, yes, as a matter of standard practice in agriculture, an institution such as ourselves has to give consideration to rescheduling debt, giving consideration to perhaps new facilities additional to existing facilities. But that would have to be done on a very careful basis, where perhaps you provide a contingent facility, which you will only disburse as an institution subject to performing soil test conditions to ensure that maybe there's adequate moisture in the ground so that farmers can plant. So yes, rescheduling debt, providing additional facilities are some of the measures that we are taking to provide relief. Yeah.
From the Land Bank's perspective, you've been through this before. South Africa has, although we forget it was a while ago. But looking at a loss of a third of the crops, what some of the agricultural bodies are saying, just explain the magnitude. Yeah. How serious is this for the country, for farmers?
Well, I think I would say at two levels. One, the social effects are massive. I was just listening to the Statistician General earlier on as I was waiting here in the studio, and he was mentioning how the ratio of employment in agriculture in South Africa is low relative to other countries such as Brazil. So the first effect is potential massive job losses. Secondly, the negative effects on the potential for development impact. In other words, all the significant investments that government has made in the agricultural sector to bring in new farmers onto land, to cultivate more hectares, to bring more livestock into the system, all those could be reversed significantly. And of course, we know as a third point that agriculture itself does contribute a lot into the manufacturing basket by providing the primary outputs, which are then processed further into various other manufactured goods. Just imagine the effects on reducing manufacturing output and perhaps reducing export volumes and things like that. So the domino effects could be significant. But I must say, I am encouraged by the kind of responses that I've seen on the ground, be it from ourselves, the Land Bank, or from government or from industry bodies. It looks like the nation is rallying around.
All right. Well, thank you for outlining that. It's a bleak picture. Please do what you can to mitigate the job losses, those effects, and they do sound dire indeed. The CEO of the Land Bank, Tshokolo Nchocho. Let's stay with this issue of